Okay. We're gonna go at it now. Teal shirt report podcast. Jaguars hire their new head coach Liam Coen. Episode show number 2 of the Teal shirt report podcast. Season number 6, actually. How about that? We're kind of busy on Teal Tuesday, so Teal Tuesday is running on Wednesday morning and throughout Wednesday. Hello to everybody. Thanks to our sponsors, Saucer Realty and Capital, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com, and Lake Euphoria Hits, great internet radio where it's all good. Check out the shows. You can find links to all the internet radio shows with our internet radio food court at bigjreport.com in the Neighbors 2 section. Jaguars hire their new head coach, Liam Coen. The press conference, my thoughts, I watched most of it, and Liam Coen is excited. I think it's kind of what we would say is surreal. Is Liam Coen kind of pinching himself? I'm a head coach in the NFL now. He put up great stats as the Tampa. You can't take that away from the guy. He put up great stats with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as their offensive coordinator. He's helped to run offenses with the Kentucky Wildcats in the SEC. Josh Hines Allen knows of him. He mentioned Josh Hines Allen, a guy from Kentucky, and he mentioned Luke Fortner, basically the backup center now, who was drafted by who else but Balky? What about 3 years ago? There's been some. There's been a coach or two that's being retained, and that's good. That keeps a little cohesion somewhat together there. So I will say that. Liam Coen, the new Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, it's a good thing. The Jaguars needed a coach. I was wishing it'd be Ben Johnson, but ultimately, who is going to be more successful? That's hard to figure at this point. It really is. These two coaches, Liam Coen and Ben Johnson, are going to be compared. They're starting at the same time, 2 different cities. Ben Johnson in Chicago with the Bears, and there's other coaching vacancies that need to be filled. And Liam Coen with the Jacksonville Jaguars. John Gaylor gave me some really good information because there's been so many things going on. Hey, did Trevor Lawrence have the surgery on his shoulder? And during the Liam Coen press conference, you saw Trevor. There were some pictures of Trevor, maybe even a video of Trevor during the press conference where Trevor was kind of in a sling, and he had just recently been through the surgery. I think John Gaylor said it was December 17th. So it's been over a month. So Trevor, he should be fine in time for when they start doing, spring workouts, training camp over the summer. Trevor should be pretty close to 100%. Now it's time to draft offensive lineman, Mr. Liam Coen. Now, as far as what I'm hearing about the general manager, I hear rumors that Shad Khan hopes to have a new general manager in place sometime in February, and that would be good. The new GM, the rumor is he'll be a guy that can run the salary cap really well, and he may be a yes man. Liam may say, "No, we're drafting this guy." He may be a yes man. It's going to be, the front is going to be. It's going to be a collaborative effort. But Liam Coen was hired knowing full well that he would have the power, just like Urban Meyer had the power. And Balky I don't want to say Balky was an afterthought, but Balky was a guy that somewhere on the yacht, Urban was probably asked by Shad, well, who would you be comfortable with as a GM? And Trent had a little bit of a history with Balky as far as Trent Baalke, when he was the GM with the San Francisco 49ers, drafted Alex Smith, who was a quarterback in college at Utah when Urban Meyer was at Utah many, many, many moons ago. So all these things kind of tie in, and Balky somehow with the Jaguars turned the interim GM tag because Urban Meyer had the power and Balky became the permanent GM. And then a few years later, Balky is fired, in fact, just a few days ago. So the next GM is probably going to be a salary cap guru. Since Balky's been fired, the scouting staff is going to be changed a pretty good bit. I believe Trevor had the operation on December 17th. That is critical because I think when we did episode show number 1, I'm thinking, did Trevor have the surgery? Now, I was thinking he did, but I wasn't 100% sure. But I went to John Gaylor. John Gaylor follows a lot of his stuff, and he helps us immensely here on the podcast. So my take from it's hard not to get excited. Liam Coen is excited to be here in Jacksonville. He's a new head coach. He had put up outstanding statistical numbers with Tampa Bay as their offensive coordinator. We documented that in the last few podcasts. You're listening to episode show number 2 of season number 6 of the Teal Shirt Report podcast. We're still less than a year on YouTube, but our audio platforms are out there, still grinding it out there. We've got listens on the audio platforms, whether you're listening on Spotify, Buzzsprout, etc. But more importantly, go to our website. That's where you can find some of the past audio reports. Go to bigjreport.com, bigjreport.com. There's also weather information on the homepage. Scroll it. You'll find a link for Saucer Realty and Capital, our sponsor for your North Florida real estate needs, Saucer Realty and Capital. Also, internet radio. You got the madmaxmix.weebly.com and Max's show each Wednesday. Heck, that'll be tonight, 6 till 8 Central Time, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock Eastern Time for the madmaxmix.weebly.com. Max will pour on the classic rock music. Classics, classic rock classics, music pop classics, and get your request in at the madmaxmix.weebly.com and Max's internet radio show each Wednesday night. Then the next night on Thursday night, you got JC live from the pub at Lake Eufaula Hits, LakeEufaulaHits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. And as you know, there you go. The Jacksonville Jaguars hire their new head coach, Liam Coen. And you're tuned in to the Teal Shirt Report podcast. My name is Scott. It's great to have you tuned in. Super Bowl is set for February the 9th. Our executive producer, a big Buffalo Bills fan, and I haven't talked to him sadly since Buffalo lost to Kansas City. It was a great game. I did want to comment on the game. It was a good football game. Kansas City won 32-29 over Buffalo. Buffalo goes down in the playoffs again. They had back in the 90s, they had the Super Bowl run where they played in 4 straight Super Bowls, and they sadly lost 4 straight. So Buffalo is a franchise that desperately needs to win a Super Bowl. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are a similar franchise. They've never been to a Super Bowl. Liam Coen, and by the way, I'm so glad Trevor Lawrence got the surgery on January the 17th. Looks like the governor of California is talking about the wildfires. Man, he's been working on his hair too, hasn't he? Was that Governor Newsom, right? Got a little gel in his hair, I think. So I wanted to, a little tongue in cheek there, but I was going to tell you that AFC title game, Buffalo Bills 29, Kansas City Chiefs 32, a final. Talking about that game, I did watch some of the game. When the Jaguars aren't playing, I'm not really totally in tune or, followed every play. But what I saw was, a quarterback named Patrick Mahomes, who Andy Reid traded up for. You got to remember, Andy Reid was a longtime Philadelphia Eagles coach. When he got hired at Kansas City had a terrible season. They had a losing season before Andy Reid went in there. I think, a couple of years after Andy Reid had the job at Kansas City. They traded up. Was it a couple of years later? But it seems like forever. Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs traded up to get Patrick Mahomes, their quarterback. He was a Texas Tech guy, right? Patrick Mahomes. And a lot of people thought Mahomes would, be the fourth, fifth, sixth quarterback drafted. Andy Reid traded up, got him mid-first round, somewhere in there, in the teens, I think. And the rest is history. And I will say this about Patrick Mahomes. And I will say this about Andy Reid. Andy Reid's a great coach. And Patrick Mahomes, the only head coach he's ever known is Andy Reid. And Patrick Mahomes is an extension of Andy Reid. The key to this game, quite frankly, was, in my opinion, my humble opinion, by the way, Ohio State won the college football national championship game over Notre Dame. That kind of came to mind. But the fact is that Patrick Mahomes is an extension of Andy Reid, which to me means this. They have a working knowledge, and at this point, they're going for their third straight Super Bowl championship. And Patrick Mahomes knows what Andy Reid's thinking, and Andy Reid knows what Patrick Mahomes is thinking at this point. Patrick Mahomes is an extension of Andy Reid and vice versa. And this is a relationship that's going to go down as one of the best quarterback coach relationships of all time, just like Belichick and Tom Brady. This is the way things are looking. NFL officiating at the playoff time, not great. Not great. Is everything on the up and up? Well, that's what they say. You remember the Jaguars Patriots AFC Championship game? I'm going to go there, JC. Patriots, one penalty for 10 yards. That should be put on some tombstones. I can tell you that. Pretty good coffee this morning. Got some milk and some butter pecan. What is that stuff? Butter pecan flavoring that I threw in there. I ran out of my regular creamer, so we're just going with milk and the butter pecan syrup, I think is what they call it. You see a lot of that stuff at coffee shops, and here at World Headquarters, we basically have a coffee shop in the adjoining room. So Kansas City wins, and let me say this about the game: they won the game 32-29, right? Let me double check that. Yeah, Kansas City Chiefs 32, Buffalo Bills 29. What I saw in the game was, and I will mention this because I heard this during the broadcast, that the Kansas City Chiefs defensive backs, apparently they had started getting healthier. While Buffalo, they've had some injuries in the back end. I watched Patrick Mahomes. He was knocking down first downs, and it reminded me a little bit of Steve Spurrier's offense, where Mahomes was hitting the guy to the left, to the right. He had the options. He could run. He could throw to the left, the right, on the sides of the Buffalo defense. And the key was, in my mind, Patrick Mahomes was knocking down first downs. And that's what won the football game at the end. Nothing against Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, the quarterback with Buffalo. He had a great season, had a great game, and it was a close football game. There was no blowout city here. These were two good football teams playing for the AFC Championship game. Kansas City Chiefs 32, Buffalo Bills 29. Kansas City will go to the Super Bowl to play the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles on February the 9th of 2025 at 6:30 p.m. And I believe the Super Bowl is in New Orleans, right? Anything can happen in New Orleans. So the Super Bowl will be in New Orleans. Eagles won the NFC title game going away in a big way. Philadelphia Eagles 55, Washington Commanders 23, the final on Sunday, January the 26th of 2025. Washington just had a great year to get as far as they did, quite frankly. Philadelphia Eagles got a good defense. They got a good quarterback. And this is like the Andy Reid Bowl going up against his former team, Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not going to touch a line on the game. We'll do that in the coming days. We'll take a look at the line as the game gets a few more days closer. North Florida Entertainment, go to our website at bigjreport.com. Little Riverbed coming to town. Foreigner will be in Northeast Florida as well. The group Chicago and many others, go to our website at bigjreport.com and check the Neighbors 2 section. Jacksonville Iceman update. Seems like they've been playing a lot of games against the Orlando Solar Bears, and the Iceman beat up on the Solar Bears a couple of games in a row last week, during the latter part of January. However, the Solar Bears got some revenge. Jacksonville Iceman update. The Orlando Solar Bears get some revenge by winning 4-1. Was that game 4-1? I think it was. 4-1, right? Let me pull that back up. Yeah, the Iceman lost to the Solar Bears 4-1. The Orlando Solar Bears get some revenge. Excuse me. The Orlando Solar Bears get some revenge by winning 4-1 over the Jacksonville Iceman on Tuesday, January the 28th of 2025 in Orlando. The Jacksonville Iceman still having a great year. They fall now to 24-15-2 now in the East Coast Hockey League 2024 season. That report comes to us from bigjreport.com. About 16 minutes in on the podcast. This will be a relatively short one. I will tell you that college football was a good season. There were good games. NIL and transfer portal is very hot and active again. And does it take down college football? We'll see. But there were a lot of good games. Ohio State definitely was a better team over Notre Dame. Weather's getting really good in Jacksonville right now. Weather nearly perfect in North Florida. Currently clear and a very cool 41 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida at 6:10 a.m. on this Wednesday morning, January the 29th of 2025. Clearing skies. We'll see a lot of sunshine during the daytime. Slightly warmer now. Listen to this. Chamber of Commerce weather in Jacksonville. High today near 72. Winds west at about 3 to 9 miles per hour. And that weather report comes to us from bigjreport.com. One random thought from your host. One random thought here. Don't know why Coen didn't go GM first. Liam Coen, best of luck to him, but with a first-time head coach, you never know. We all remember Gus Bradley. And a few others across the league. I hope 4 years from now, Coen's not firing another coach. The GM should do that, not the owner. But this has been unorthodox. Coen hiring the coach, saying in the press conference he was the guy the Jaguars wanted all along. There was not really much talked about why the Jaguars fired Balky when they did, but that's been well documented in some of our past podcasts. So again, the one random thought, I don't know why Coen didn't go GM first. Liam Coen, hey, best of luck to him, but with a first-time head coach, you never know. And again, I hope 4 years from now, Coen's not firing another coach. The GM should do that if it's necessary. Vince Lombardi was a first-time head coach once at Green Bay. Best in ultra success to Liam Coen. Because Liam, in Jaguars Nation and the fan base, they're rooting for you. You got a lot to prove, but they're rooting for you. And with Liam Coen, he wants to win championships, but let's at least get to the title game. If Liam Coen can get the Jaguars into the Super Bowl game, he'll do something no other coach has ever done. There's a guy named Tom Coughlin that's in the pride of the Jacksonville Jaguars. In his time in Jacksonville, whether he was the coach / coach GM or even the executive vice president, on his watch, the Jaguars got to 3 AFC title games. Coach Liam Coen, you got your work cut out for you. I think he will urge the GM because Liam Cohen's running the show. Him and Con. Man, how about I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the yacht now as the yacht turns. This has been the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Episode show number 2 of season number 6. I want to thank our executive producer, JC. Alex Nunnery, another producer, and John Gaylor. Thank you so much, John Gaylor. Big winner. Won the Teal Shirt Report podcast Fantasy Football League. John, again, congratulations. You beat me in the championship game. That's going to do it for the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Episode show number 2 of season number 6, right? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I want to dedicate this podcast to my dad, the late Mr. Sonny, who passed away over 4 years ago. You know what Dad would have said? Because Dad talks to me all the time. I hear things that Dad has said in the past, and they come to light. Dad would have said, like he said about Brother Bortles, the quarterback of the Jaguars, Dad would say about Liam Coen, he's got a lot to learn. So we'll find out. We'll learn together with Jacksonville Jaguars' new head coach, Liam Coen. You guys have a great day. This has been the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thanks to our sponsors, Saucer Realty and Capital, the MadMaxMix.weebly.com, and JC's live from the pub show on Thursday nights from LakeUpAllHits.com. Great internet radio. You can follow us at BigJReport.com. That's BigJReport.com. Have a great day. Thank you for watching the Teal Shirt Report podcast. JC, one of my favorite numbers, 22. The podcast, 22 minutes long. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the Teal Shirt Report podcast.